Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's been raining in California for the past couple of days, and today I have a fantastic preparation of idli podi for you. Though it's raining and cold outside, we are warmed up with some fresh idli podi and idlis, hot idlis I must say. And this is such a versatile podi. Instead of a chutney, you can whip this up and keep it on your counter, and it will be a helping hand whenever you need a chutney or something to go with your dosa and idli in a jiffy. Okay, all you need to do is toss it with sesame oil and eat it along with your idlis. Okay, let's get whipping this amazing idli podi. And serve with your idlis or dosas or uthappams, what have you. It's very versatile and very simple to make, and it has quite a long shelf life, up to probably even 6 months if you put it in your fridge or freezer. And it's a powdered form, and just make sure you don't get any moisture in the container. Use dry spoons anytime you are trying to get some out, and usually we have a bulk in a box, and then we take it out in a small container and keep it on the table for use. But I usually mix it with the oil whenever we need it and keep it ready. We don't chase the podi everywhere with the oil, so it's very convenient. So right now let's go through our ingredients. The main ingredient is urad dal. So we have about 1 cup of urad dal and half a portion of chana dal, that is split chickpeas, and Bengal gram, split Bengal gram, let's just say that. Okay, and I have red chilies. There's 2 different kinds. One is the Kashmiri one, or bedgi chili, or it's not too spicy but it just adds color. And then this is the other kind. It's almost like cayenne pepper, which adds more heat. Okay, so I have about 10 of these bright the spicy chili ones, and about 15 of the other Kashmiri chili one for color. Okay, and then I have a big handful of curry leaves. I like to have a plenty of curry leaves, and these are fresh. I've just washed it. Once we fry it up, all the moisture will be gone, so we are good. And then I have 1 teaspoon of jeera, 1 teaspoon of pepper powder, black pepper, whole pepper, and a little piece of tamarind, fresh tamarind, to add little tartness. And this is the rock form of asafoetida, not the powder one. I usually use the powder one, but for this particular recipe we use the rock, and I made it pieces and I got about a teaspoon of it. And this is garlic powder. Okay, sometimes we tend to add roasted garlic and it has a great flavor, but I usually tend to burn it and the whole thing goes wasted. So I'm going to add garlic powder that I got it from Costco. It says granulated California garlic, so that's what I'm going to use, so I don't have to fry the garlic and make a mess. And this is an important ingredient. This is white sesame seeds, and this is black sesame seeds. I have about 2 tablespoons of black sesame seeds. It actually has a great nutty flavor, but it makes my entire podi a little dark, and the highlighted of the redness will not be that visible. And while eating, it's not appealing. Flavor wise it's great, but look wise, so I have more of the white sesame seeds. It's about quarter cup of sesame seeds. Okay, so quarter cup of white sesame seeds and 2 tablespoons of black sesame seeds. Okay, so I hope I covered all the ingredients. I have some salt to taste, and I'm going to fry certain ingredients in oil and certain ingredients just dry fry. Okay, when it comes to that point I will let you know, but initially we're going to fry each and everything individually so we don't discolor anything and waste the whole product. Okay, so let's get started. I have a pan, and get a dry spoon Everything has to be dry. Let's turn on our stove, and we're going to first fry our chana dal or Bengal gram dal, okay, followed by our urad dal. Everything has to be done on a very slow flame, so don't leave the stove ever throughout this process. So do it in a most relaxed form. Make sure you have enough time to complete this task, because all of this has to be ground also. Once it's all fried up, you have to let it cool and then grind it together. But the chili powder and the asafoetida will get ground separately, because we want to make a fine powder of it. The rest of it is a coarse powder. Okay, so let's get started with our frying. Our pan is almost heated. Let's just wait a couple more minutes. Our pan is heated. Let's add our Bengal gram dal. Okay, there are many varieties and versions of idli podi. Each one, in fact, each family has their own recipe. And this is a recipe I kind of put together myself, because I used to love MTR masala, and I used to kind of research and figure out, and my mom and myself came up with this recipe, and it's really tasty. And every time somebody comes home and they taste it, they're like, what did you put in it? They all want to know. So I decided to make a YouTube video. So now I don't have to repeat all the ingredients. They can just watch the video and make it their own. Okay, and don't leave the stove. All this has to be done evenly. You don't want to burn any portion. Nice golden brown. And yeah, it's going to take a while, so take your time, listen to some nice music, get yourself a nice drink, and slowly do it. Chana dal or chickpea dal is almost ready. It's actually smelling great here, and it's roasted well. We're just going to toss it into a bowl. I'm going to put it all in a dry bowl and put it aside to cool down. We add our urad dal. Okay, this is gota urad dal, not the split kind. So go ahead and add that, and be very careful with this. You don't want it burnt. This has to be the main ingredient, which will flavor a big time to your idli podi. Okay, do a nice slow roast. It'll take a while, and then we will add our other ingredients. Make sure the color, which is like this, turns into this. Okay, so I've transferred my urad dal. Let's do the next interesting portion. Again, I'm going to turn off the stove, and this is our sesame seeds. Okay, this is very interesting because it's going to pop and crackle and go all over town, so we need to be really quick. And at the same time, I have a splatter guard. I don't know if you're aware of this little gadget. It helps with splatters, so I'm just going to keep it handy, so in case my sesame seeds gets excited, then I'll have a lid to cover my eyes. Okay, please be careful at this pot, because you definitely need your sesame seeds nice and toasted, so it will crackle on you. It'll actually poof up and then crackle. Can you hear the popping sound? So that's what we were waiting for. It took a little bit longer than I expected. Not sure because it's winter here. So, and it started smoking as well, but nothing is getting super burnt as such. So beware. I had the exhaust fan for a little bit. So let's take it out. Okay. So we've added the fried sesame seeds along with the other dals. Let's go ahead and first fry our curry leaves. They were a little wet, and some urad dal got in there as well. Okay, let's get this fried up. All the moisture will vanish in a few short minutes. Oops. Just dry fry, okay? It hasn't changed much color, but it has become a little crunchy, and You know, when you take one and break it, it should go into powder. Okay. Oh, I see moisture somewhere, but it's literally crumbling in my hands. We'll just toss it a little bit, lower the flame. I don't want anything burnt. It's smoking. And we will finish it up and toss it with the rest of the ingredients. Okay. Now we'll dry roast the red chilies. There's almost 25 of them. Make sure it doesn't start smoking, so slowly fry it. Take your time with this. And the stem, you can take it out after you fry it. Once you fry the red chilies, keep it separately because we're going to do another step with it later, and we're going to grind it separately also with the fenugreek. Not fenugreek, asafoetida. Okay, we had all these chunks, right? We're going to fry them and then toss the red chilies back into the pan again and fry them all together. Okay, right now we're just roasting the red chilies so they change color a little bit and crisp up, so it's easy to grind once they cool down. So I think I'm going to pull it out right now and then add the other ingredients. So we have our red chilies ready. Now let's toss in our pepper and our cumin. Okay, it's just a very small portion, but even this, be careful, don't let it smoke too much. So cumin and pepper are almost done. Cumin has a tendency for digestive properties, and does pepper. So this is almost done. I don't want my cumin getting super dark and burning, so I'm going to pull it out right now. Now this part gets a little interesting because we're going to add about a teaspoon of oil and fry our asafoetida. Okay, this is crucial because we don't want raw asafoetida. This will nicely proof up and get crunchy a bit. And we're going to add our red chilies back into it. But before that, we're going to add a tamarind, raw tamarind. So that will also get fried up a little bit. Okay. And in the end, before we pull out everything, we will add our garlic salt. Okay. Yep. Our asafoetida is fried, so we'll add our tamarind. Okay, let it fry it. So I'm going to lower the heat and get back to frying. Asafoetida will get really crunchy once it cools down. Now I'm going to add my red chilies back in here, so it will just coat up with some of the oil. Okay. Just soak it all up. And now we'll go ahead and add our spoonful of garlic salt. Some people don't even like the smell of garlic, but I love it. Okay, now the garlic is going to stick to the other ingredients, and I'm going to turn off the stove. Everything will get heated up in the pan's heat. Okay, at this point I can just toss everything into one bowl and let it all sit, but we don't do that because sometimes the pan is so hot it will burn everything. So I'm going to transfer all this into the other bowl and let it all cool overnight, and tomorrow morning I'm going to grind it into a powder and have idli with it. Okay, so I will see you in the morning. Good morning everyone. This is the morning after. So we are going to grind the right side bowl with our red chilies, curry leaf, a little bit of curry leaf, and then our asafoetida, tamarind, everything to a smooth powder, whereas the rest of the ingredients we're going to make it a coarse powder. Okay, and then mix both together, and that will be our idli podi. Let's get grinding. So our chili is ground, and we're going to toss the rest of the ingredients in the same mixie jar and mix it all together and grind it all together. So I had a bigger jar, everything fit in. So let's get this ground to a coarse powder. So our idli podi is ground. Just make sure it is not super soft. It has to be a little coarse. And we're going to serve it with our idlis, hot steaming idlis and sesame oil. So I have it all set up here. We have our hot idlis. Let's get serving. I went ahead and added a teaspoon and a half of salt to the whole thing while it was grinding, and this is ready to serve. Let's add our sesame oil, and the way we eat it is we mix it with our fingers. Okay, and dunk our idlis, hot idlis, and this is how we eat it. Okay, enjoy. Thank you for watching.